TAO, the Dragon Warrior, by Linda Lee Cadwell. No, with the preface of Linda Lee Cadwell, but Louis Chunovich write this book. So the first page, there is, yes, in the movie, Enter the Dragon scenes. Then some page of a picture of Bruce Lee. Very nice. This is the page of the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Okay, the Tao Dragon Warrior. Ciao. I want to read some books here. My thanks to Linda Lee Cadwell, a remarkable woman, for her hospitality, diligence, and trust. The photographs collect here, many never before seen publicly, are from an archive for my nephew, Brian, and Jess. Bruce and Linda with Shannon looking on. You see that copyright 1996, etc. Okay. Table of contents. Preface by Linda Lee Cadwell. Introduction. Ip Man and the Hong Kong Kid. The Eastern philosopher and the All-American Girl. Small screen, big impact. The Tao of Hollywood. Boss Fist Connection. The Dragon Hens Island, the game. You have 95 pages this book. Bruce Lee, Linda and Brandon during the Green Hornet days in Los Angeles. I don't know if these have copyright. Read the book. I don't know. It has been well documented that Bruce suffered through difficult times while climbing the ladder to success. However, the significance of these hard times and how they motivated Bruce to work on deserve further exploration. It is from this lesson that we can discover just what made Bruce a unique individual. Bruce was an accomplished martial artist, a fitness devote, and a gifted actor. His greatest contribution, however, lies in a field that is rarely discussed. Bruce Lee was without a doubt the most self-motivated man I have ever known. Once Bruce decided he was going to achieve something, there was no question that it would happen. This process of decision-making was not lightly undertaken. In fact, it was often a grueling process of introspection, of ranking priorities, of delayed gratification, of trying and failing, of redirecting goals and learning, always learning from this experience. Bruce had a concrete symbol of his struggle that kept with him during these early years. That symbol was simply a pair of glasses, extremely nearsighted. Bruce wore contact lenses in public, but often wore his Coke battle glasses at home. That I don't know what means, but like most of us with severe vision deficiency, Bruce sometimes fell asleep with his glasses on, or He wore them while working out, when they might go flying across the room from the force of his exertion. The point is that this became an abused pair of spectacles, and during those years, Bruce could not afford to buy a new pair. These glasses underwent ingenious repairs. The earpieces were wired on, the frames around the lens were taped and retaped. This was a pair of glasses that only a mother could love. To Bruce, this was not just a pair of sad-looking glasses. This was a tool of self-motivation. In the last 2 years of his life, when he lived in Hong Kong and Bruce was achieving his dreams and could afford several pairs of glasses, he always kept the orphan pair on his desk as a reminder of a stage in his life he did not want to repeat. Picking up those spectacles and swinging them from a broken earpiece would tell me that never again would he be in the position where he could not afford even such a bare necessity as a pair of glasses. And when he said it, I knew it to be. I have often heard it said that Bruce was so successful because he had a naturally inborn talent. His speed, his power was only a matter of having the right genes. Bruce's father, Liu Chuan, was an actor in the Chinese opera, therefore Bruce was born with the right structural components, therefore he had a super physique. The story goes that Bruce didn't really have to work very hard to achieve great things, because he had it all from the beginning. Nothing could be farther from the truth. It's not my purpose to enter into a debate about genetic versus environment. Certainly, they both play a role. My intention is to acquaint the reader with the notion that Bruce Lee did indeed work very hard to build an incredible body, to hone his martial skills, to perfect the craft of acting. The most important component of this formula for success, however, was Bruce's self-determination. This quality of being a self-starter is not something that people either have or don't have. It is a learned characteristic. Bruce achieved a high level of self-motivation through meticulous study of books from Norman Vincent Peale's Power of Positive Thinking to Miyamoto Musashi Book of Five Rings. He read, underlined, and made notes in literally hundreds of motivational books. He wrote out in longhand his pledge and goals. He did not look at failure as failure per se, but as a motivation to rethink his strategies. And failures did happen, such as when all his hope and his major bank account were bet on making the silent flute with James Coburn and stealing silver. When it did not pan out, this failed project became the immediate impetus to accept the offer on Hong Kong that led to the Big Boss and the string of successful films that propelled Bruce to stardom. One of the hardest things for anyone to do in their lives is to pick themselves up off the floor, grab those bootstraps, and reach for that brass ring with the only kick in the pants being self-determination. Bruce used to say, "To hell with opportunity, I create opportunity." When he said it, I knew that it would happen. Bruce turned his search for the best within himself into a virtual art form. Focus was the key, within himself into a virtual art form. Focus was the key, in center and possessing an infallible awareness of where he was at all times. Bruce did not spend one precious second of his short time on earth reflecting on negative justification. No self-pity, no blaming others for things that didn't go right in his life. No harmful self-indulgence to tempt him from his chosen path. He did not baby himself, he plunged into the unknown future fearless but well armed. However, lest you think this was a journey of self-sacrifice and torture, it was not. If there was one thing with which Bruce was naturally blessed, it was the sheer love of what he's doing. He loved martial arts, fitness training, acting, writing, studying. Teaching in itself is truly a gift. In filmmaking, one principle that Bruce understood well was the necessity for the storyline to have a hook, something that grabs the attention of the audience. When it came to keeping his own attention focused, Bruce employed very tangible hooks. He posted motivational sayings and posters around the house. He had a plug on his desk that said welcome. He wrote his goals down on paper and revised them frequently. He envisioned the success he would one day enjoy. But the most tangible, ever-present reminder was the old broken pair of glasses. With them perched on his face during the lean years, Bruce would look in the mirror and swear the day would come when he could easily replace his glasses. Later, when he had reached that goal, he used the glasses to motivate himself toward the attainment of new dreams. That decrepit, battered pair of glasses represent to Bruce the stumbling blocks that he would turn into stepping stones. He used to say, when you look at a beautiful lake shimmering in the first blush of daybreak, think of the source. Bruce always had a keen awareness of himself and his place in the universe, even though more than 2 decades after his death, like a long extinguished star, whose light still makes its way to her. Bruce Lee's star continues to shine, lighting the way for many who would follow in his footsteps. Linda Lee, Catmull. Ciao Tizia, allenandomi a leggere. So we have some page. Original manuscript. Bruce Lee, Jim, your kid. Bruce at 7 years age. Introduction. Unlike most of our present day icons of action and adventure, they every career move charged but highly paid retinue of specialists, strategists, and advisors mostly essentially construct himself. Show business professional, smooth Armani-clad denizens of power launching expense account. Hollywood may be horrified to learn that throughout his career Bruce Lee maintained no personal publicist, nor did he even have an agent when he made his wildly popular Hong Kong movies. A lifetime of intense physical training had inclined him toward mending his own career himself, but he was no baby in the Tinseltown woods either. Although born in San Francisco in 1940, the year of the dragon, while his father, Li Hoi-chuen, the star of the venerable Chinese opera, was in the United States on tour, accompanied by his Eurasian wife. No, no, please. Grace. Bruce Lee was raised in Hong Kong, surrounded by film and opera people and other artists. He appeared in movies there from early childhood and through late adolescence. By the time he was a teenager, Lee Lung or Lee Little Dragon, as he was known in Hong Kong, had appeared in more than 20 Cantonese language pictures, including The Orphan, taught as a Chinese blackboard jungle in which he starred. Many of his early movies, young Lee was typecast as a tall, little street urchin who could cartwheel and do backflips and already could use his feet like miniature adults. This is a picture Bruce held by his father at 3 months. Bruce is made up for his first Cantonese language films. When he returned to Hong Kong as a young man, Cantonese films were no longer being made, even though Hong Kong had a predominantly Cantonese-speaking population. In many of his early movies, young Lee was typecast as a tall little street urchin who could cartwheel and do backflips and already could use his fists like a miniature adult. He grew to be an uncommonly focused and disciplined man, one who read widely and incorporate elements of many Western as well as Eastern tradition into Jeet Kune Do, usually translated as the way of the intercepting fist. It became his own anti-system of martial art, with which he directly challenged some of the most dearly and closely held beliefs of the martial arts establishment. Lee not only walked the walk, but to reverse the customary street slang told the talk, and well to write it down in measure longhand with calligraphic precision. He himself summed up his warrior's philosophy in a pity to word phrase resonant with zen-like detachment, a phrase also reflective of the young man in a hurry who would not be denied. Welcome. Bruce's parents, Grace and Leo, joined. 1940, here is, I think, 47. Bruce had 4 or 5 pouting. Bruce and his brothers Peter in 1945 spin-side warrior with swords. Peter went to become a fencing champion. His interest in the sport was passed on to his brother. Right. It's a good book. I never read this. So it's the first time that I read this book also. Portrait of the young actor. How to say it? Actor. How do you listen if you open? It's clear. Bruce had tried intently watching an acrobatic display of plates spinning in this early film. Some cheap pictures. this famous Bruce emoting with script while dubbing sound. At 7, Bruce was cast in the movie that her fan. It was the last movie he made before leaving Hong Kong for the United States. Okay. Yip Man and the Hong Kong Kid. Any sensitive, well brought up Chinese kid in Hong Kong in the 50s, then the mercantile southern Chinese outpost of the British Empire, as well as the capitalist west window on the mysterious communist history, could not help but be troubled by British-Chinese social class conflict and the Cold War tension of the era. The Cold War. Okay. Not surprising then that young Bruce Lee, by all accounts a proud and popular lad, got into a share of scrapes, fights growing up in the British Crown colony. Hot-tempered, fierce, pugnacious, that was how he thought of himself as a teenager, and that was how others saw him as well. Like those of many other bright and curious teenage boys, Lee's indifferent grades reflect his boredom with the strict academic routine of his Catholic high school. He was a voracious reader, though he liked to draw and possessed a good eye and a steady hand. He liked movement too, the body's means of expression, and he took to the Tai Chi his father practiced, as well as to the dance steps he most probably first learned from his mother, with a young athlete natural grace. Bruce practicing Chisao, the art of sticking and with Yip Man in Hong Kong 1963. At the age of 13, he began to study Wing Chun, an ancient Chinese martial art. His teacher was the legendary Kung Fu master Yip Man, who taught the art of detachment as much as he taught the art of unarmed combat. And soon Lee, gifted with grace and ability, became his most prized pupil. From Master Yip, Lee learned such traditional but unique Wing Chun method as Chi Sao, the art of sticky hand, which practitioners in effect fence with their hands and forearm. Practicing Chi Sao with Yip Man, the young Lee was strengthening himself and sharpening his sense. Bruce and his martial art mentor. Strengthen his sense of touch while learning to release an energy that he later compared to floating an opponent's attack, likening it, likening it to an ever-flowing stream or a boat on waves. From Master Yi, we also first learn about Zen and the Tao, and that there is no conquering, struggling, or dominating, as he brought later. The best example is water. Water can penetrate the hardest granite because it is sealing. One cannot stab or strike at water and hurt it because that which offers no resistance cannot be overcome. The mindedness he learned from the practice of Chisao, he wrote later, applies to all activities such as dancing. If the dancer has an idea at all of displaying his art well, He ceased to be a good dancer, for his mind stops with every moment. For Lee, as well as for his master, water, always flowing, was a central metaphor for the correct practice of the Kung Fu, said Master Yi. A man should always think the source of the water as he drink it. Though little known in this country, Master Yip was the seminal fighting influence for Lee. Yip Man, though a style named after a teenage girl who lived in 18th century China. When 15-year-old Yim Wing Chun father was wrongfully accused of a crime, a dutiful daughter fled their native province with him. You take the water, eh? Oh, you take the water. No respect, really. I put two bottles here. Eventually, she was befriended by Mui, formerly an abbess of the Shaolin monastery, traditionally a powerful center of martial art teaching, to teach combat skills in Manchu China. Though was to reach the wrath of the emperor, who saw the Shaolin monks as a rival power center and potential fomenters of rebellion. Through guile and deception, the monastery eventually was destroyed by the fearful emperor's troops, and the abbess herself became a fugitive. She saw the beautiful young girl, who while in hiding with her father was being harassed by local suitors to defend herself. An outstanding student, Wing Chun, eventually defeated her tormentors in combat. After she married Wing Chun, taught her husband fighting skills. He, in turn, passed them on from Leung Bok Chao, Wing Chun's husband, to Wong Hua Bo, who was a member of an opera troupe, and on to Leung Jia, an herbal doctor. Master passed the techniques on to master, each weaving new strands of technique into the system. Eventually, this Wing Chun system was passed down to Yip Man, who became his grandmaster in a direct line of succession from the young girl was the founder. Though Bruce Lee, after Master Yip's death, the line of succession finally fragmented. Stories, some probably apocryphal, abound of young Bruce Lee martial arts prowess. In many ways, the image of the Hong Kong schoolboy is the same as that of the street brawling Thou kid he played in his many Cantonese films. Was he tormented by racist British schoolboys, and did he return from Wing Chun practice, like some avenging Lunar from one of his films, to beat them up one by one? Did he rise to head one of Hong Kong's ubiquitous youth gangs, battling his rivals across rooftops with fists and sticks? Did a youthful dispute with the son of the leader, one of the Chinese triad's traditional criminal gangs that held power in Hong Kong, equivalent to that of the Italian mafia in Sicily, led to his death years later? where the increasingly frequent and violent confrontation, including a run-in with the Hong Kong police, the reason his father sent him back to his birthplace, San Francisco, was simply to retain his American citizenship. Young Bruce needed to return to his country of birth before his 18th birthday. Here the myth melts with reality, but three things are certain. As a Hong Kong high school student, Bruce Lee won a multi-school boxing tournament, defeating the reigning champion. Years later, Bruce would admit that the first time ever lays on a pair of boxing gloves was when he entered this tournament. He was merely putting into practice his Wing Chun training, but it was the beginning of a lifelong interest in sport, leading me later, for example, to watch Muhammad Ali fight films in a mirror, so he could learn the boxer move while reversing his left hand leg. At the age of 18, the young martial artist with the dancer's grace and the natural actor's dramatic style was crowned the Cha-Cha champion of the Crown Colony. In his repertoire at the time were over 100 different dance steps. And in 1959, with a list of 108 steps neatly printed in tiny longhand on a card he kept in his wallet, Bruce Lee set sail for the United States. In his pocket he carried $100 from his father. Book passage in storage for the 2.5 week voyage over, but the ship's crew regularly brought him up to Swanky First Class, where he could teach dancing to smitten female passengers. But always when a day's lesson were ended, he had to return to his poorer quarters and the lower decks. Bruce at 16 on his motorcycle. Bruce with a high collar jacket posing for a school photograph. Now he's very silent. Bruce sitting on a fence above Hong Kong Bay. Bruce practicing the art of Chisao on bamboo reeds. Carrying a Scandinavian Airlines flight bag, Bruce poses for a picture during one of his hikes. Bruce wearing Coke bottle glasses, similar to the pair the leather became a symbol of his years fearful struggle. Bruce left and his brother Peter. Celebration on the deck of the ship prior to departing for the United States on April 29, 1959. Bruce's inscription on the back of the original photograph reads 10 o'clock and Wednesday. Cha cha cha. Cha cha cha. Cha cha cha. Bruce was an avid dancer and show in these shots it was perhaps the disinterest in movement that led him to the further discipline of martial arts. They have fun in the 60s. Dun, 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 cha cha cha, dun, 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 cha cha cha, dun, dun, dun. A sample of entries in Bruce's notebook displaying his interest in dancing and the various steps he disciplined himself to learn. Ah, start to be very disciplined from cha cha cha. Wow, wave step, circle step, step. Very disciplined also cha cha cha. Heck, wow, listen, I don't know. You never stop to learn. Kick step, one step, and step, cha cha cha. It is why he became the champion. Very disciplined. The Eastern philosopher and all American girl. From the first time she saw him, Linda Emery, though Bruce Lee looked like a dashing character from a movie. That film was West Side Story, and the character it reminded her was Bernardo, played by George Chakiris to be exact. It was 1963. Bruce in the United States with his newly purchased clothes posing in front of a stylish new DeSoto. It was 1963. She was 17, pretty blonde, vivacious, the type who put sugar in her Chinese tea. She said, now of her youthful self, she and her girlfriend had just seen the acclaimed movie Musical, based on the Broadway play that was turned loosely based on Romeo and Juliet. They gushed over the exotic, darkly handsome Bernardo, charismatic leader of the Sharks, the Puerto Rican gang in the film. Bernardo, tragic Maria's older brother, was old-fashioned and macho, hot-blood character with a glare sneer, someone who set turf dispute with his fist. Was he who she immediately thought of when an old student, 21-year-old studying philosophy, newly enrolled at the University of Washington, came to Garfield High School to give a lecture on Eastern philosophy. She wasn't in the class herself, but she remembered it was kind of like a celebrity event when this guy, a college student, came to give lectures in high school philosophy class. Her girlfriend would see him and stage whisper to each other, look, there's that Bruce Lee guy. Bruce, Bruce Lee had been in the United States almost 4 years, and in his progress he embodied the traditional image of the hardworking immigrant in America. From San Francisco, it soon come north to Seattle, study and work hard, reading avidly and perfecting his martial arts skills. Took any odd jobs that came his way, such as the one at Ruby's Chow's restaurant, where he learned to make wontons and bow which bow, and he saved his money. Teaching Kung Fu to eager young Americans soon became apparent was preferable to cooking and washing dishes in a Chinese restaurant. After the Second World War, veterans returning from occupation duty in and around Japan had brought back with them to America a mostly rudimentary knowledge of judo and karate. But by the early 60s, the traditional Eastern arts of armed combat in general, and Kung Fu or Kung Fu, is also pronounced in Cantonese in particular, were still mostly unknown to the general public. Martial arts instruction was just beginning to spread out from such port cities as Seattle, Oakland, San Francisco. Los Angeles and Long Beach were communities for returning veterans were centered. In fact, an informal but widely honored prohibition then existed among many Asian masters was not to teach the more advanced combat method to Westerns. Seattle, young Bruce Lee, hip brush increasingly Americanized, already was upsetting all of that. For the University of Washington Fraternity's Fight Night program in 1960, for example, it gave a Chinese boxing judo exhibition. Its crisp demonstration and engaging manner attract students who at first practice in a large parking garage on Sundays when the cars weren't there, and later in a dimly lighted basement. Linda Emery had a Chinese girlfriend at Garfield High who studied with a glamorous college student. She remembered, he tastes so strange. Nobody had ever heard of Kung Fu, hardly even karate back in those days. The summer before she started college herself, she began to join her friend in Chinatown. You had to go down the dark stairs to a cement cellar with one light bulb in it, and that's where the classes were, so it was intriguing. After the lesson, the entire group would go out to a Chinese restaurant or to a Chinese or Japanese language movie. Particularly, it was one of the long-running Zatoichi series, one of Bruce's favorites about a watery blind swordsman. His adventures always expertly blend action and comedy. Bruce demonstrating as the defense tactic to Taki Kimura. That's right, it's Linda. Taki Kimura was Bruce's best man at his wedding. His adventure always expertly blend action and comedy. This Zatoichi. Yes, the samurai funny. Before long, Bruce Lee opened a school near the university where he taught the techniques of martial art as he learned them from Yip Man, direct successor in the line of an armed combat mastery that stretched back to the Shaolin Temple. The stride punch, the elbows in, the stride line, all with Chan staples. Wow, it's very nice book. This, huh? Picture never see. But to the time-honored trend, he also was beginning to add his home borrowings and innovation. Along with the Kung Fu, a repertoire of kicks and punches, students were learning judo tools. Himself learned from old boxing, fight films, and from the biographies of past champs, just as he learned from his reading in science, in philosophy, from Newton to Descartes to Hume, adapting both Western physical and metaphysical principles to the martial arts. Always he taught mental attitude and relaxation, stillness and economy of means. The school was widely successful, and he began to formulate something new, a forceful combination of warrior training with, more important, a way of perceiving the martial arts. Although steadfast resist all attempts to label it as a new martial art, others consider this the first martial arts system created in America. Eventually, named it Jeet Kune Do, way of the intercepting fist. It was, he emphasized, more about mind than muscle. Meanwhile, Bruce and Linda had begun 2 days. Bruce practicing in Hong Kong in 1963 with Doug Palmer, student from Seattle. The school was widely successful. They began to formulate something new, a forceful combination of warrior training methods, and more important, a new way of perceiving the martial arts. Although he steadfastly resisted all attempts to label it as a new martial art, others consider this the first martial arts system created in America. Eventually he named it Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist, and it was, he emphasized, more about mind than muscle. Meanwhile, Bruce and Linda had began to date. She remembers that one day he kind of had me tackled in a throw me on the ground, and he said, "Would you like to go in the Space Needle?" I said, "You mean all of us go to the Space Needle?" He said, "No, just you." Oh, she remembers too exactly what he wore on their first day, because he looked so dapper. He wore a black Italian suit with a purple shirt. The date was October 25, 1963. That was when we kind of paid off. Just spent a lot of time together from the home. Both it and Linda told candidly in public on several occasions over the years about the difficulties of an international romance. In the America of the mid 60s, one of the many poems she penned around the time seems to speak directly to the issue. Left Bruce teaching a class in self-defense. Right Hong Kong Tai Chi practice in 1963. Bruce's father is in second from the right. Bruce himself is fourth from the right. Once more again, holding arms. Once more, I lost myself in a paradise of my own. But right now, you and I are in a golden boat, drifting freely on a sunny sea, far, far away from the human world. I'm happy as the waves dancing around us. Too much analysis kills spontaneity. It's too much light dazzles my eyes. Too much truth astonishes me. Despite all obstacles, love still exists between us. It's useless to try to steer the deer out of the muddy water. It will become murky. Leave it alone. And if it should be clear, it will become clear by itself. Now, this is something Buddhist. After spending several months back in Hong Kong in 1963, Bruce returned briefly to Seattle before moving down to Auckland, where he opened a second school. 2 weeks later, in August 1964, Bruce Lee and Linda Emery were married. Teki Kimura, his first student in Seattle, and a friend of long-standing who eventually took over leadership of the Seattle school, was their best man. Before the marriage, Linda's family hadn't known about a romance with a Chinese American man. Cause quiet the disruption in my family, she remembered. To their credit, they want the best for me, but felt I was hopelessly complicating my life by marrying a person of another race. As for herself, she says simply that she looked at Bruce Lee straight across as another human being. Within the insular martial arts world, Bruce Lee seemed well on the way to a life of a local celebrity and some controversy as the brash young Turk of Kung Fu. His caustic public pronouncement about board and breaking tricks and about the dubious usefulness of kata, as well as of other ancient and enshrined techniques taught by rote repetition. In actual life and death encounters out in the real world of sudden violence, street fighting, rage the establishment. More than once master of other style or tournament champions took offense and disparaged him in public about everything from his controversial 1-inch punch, actually a demonstration of the power of apply focus, to his unabashed willingness to teach martial arts secrets to Caucasians, only to study with him later in private. A Kung Fu master recently arrived in the United States challenged Lee to a battle over the teaching Caucasian issue, according to one famous story. When Lee obliged, the master was so badly beaten that he fled. According to another widely known story, a karate expert who insists on a full contact confrontation had to be carried away unconscious afterward, only to return to become one of Bruce Lee's students. The stories of Lee's fighting prowess spread around the circuit, and the controversies only added to his growing fame. Then Bruce Lee, charismatic young master, gave a demonstration in the summer of 1964 at the Long Beach Karate Tournament organized by the famed Kempo instructor Ed Parker, who numbered Elvis Presley among his students and is often referred to as the father of modern American karate. And suddenly, everything changed. Bruce, working with Makiwara board dummy, because he modified the wooden dummy. Bruce added a leg to traditional workout dummy. Some kids. Picture of family. Bruce in the airport returning to Hong Kong from the United States in 1963. His parents are on the left. And Bruce Lee is no more in Street Fighter. Left. Various defense movements shot in Hong Kong in 1963. The arrows were added by Bruce. Opposite the infamous one-inch punch. Rivals often disparage Lee's one-inch punch unless they were on the other end of it and felt its power. Noticed that the karate man has been caught by the camera immediately after the blow, with his heels off the floor, just as he is about to be knocked back into the waiting chair. flowing arrows, a blue zone addition to the traditional yin yang symbol icon. This is the one in. If I'm speaking too much slow, you can put more fast. Bruce in his Kato mask and hat. Small screen, big impact. Bruce Lee reputation, like that of James Dean Lee admired, is based on a relatively small body of work. Despite his career as a child actor in Hong Kong, as an adult he was a regular on just one American TV series, The Green Hornet, which aired for only one 26-episode season in the mid-60s. He starred just 5 martial arts films, including one completed by stand-ins released in 1978. 5 years after his death. Still, nearly a quarter of a century later, he remains the internationally recognized on-screen avatar of athletic grace and unparalleled martial art. In 1993, Star was added to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Dragon Big Screen Hollywood study Bruce Lee biopic starring Jesus Scott Lee, no relation despite his last name, was released that year. It opened at number one, taking in $10 million at the box office, the biggest opening to that date on the traditionally slow first weekend in May. Similarly, when the Hearts of Entertainment cable channel's biography did an hour only, it became one of the top 5 rated episodes of that series ever to air. When his son Brandon's last movie, the posthumously released The Crow, opened, it to debut in first place at the box office. Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris, and Jackie Chan, notwithstanding, there has been no new Bruce Lee. Arguably the closest and most charismatic incarnation thus far was Brandon Lee, whose unpromising career was cut off even earlier than his father's in his upward arc. How then to account for the continuing interest and the myth? While the heart is timeless, the life is fixed forever in a specific and unique time. Lee came to pop star prominence in the late 60s and early 70s, the era of Vietnam and counterculture, of boom shoots and disco. Hollywood was rediscovering the huge baby boomer market, as its strategies had been doing periodically ever since the era of skin caps of the hula hoops. The boomers were ready for a new kind of hero, even though Hollywood moguls might have preferred the tried and true. As always in Hollywood, however, it was the job of the professional to read the signs and ride the waves. Producer William Dozier began the craze of reviving radio serials from the 30s and 40s for TV with a camp mid-60s version of Batman was looking for someone to play the offspring of Private Eye Charlie Chan in number one song. The project series never materialized. Celebrity advisor Xmandre, who later was one of the victims of the notorious Tatela Bianca Manson's killing, raved about a young man seen recently doing a martial arts demonstration at a Long Beach in California karate tournament. According to one version of the story, as it happened, the organizer of the tournament had filmed the demonstration. Dozier took one look at the film and knew that here was his number one song. He brought the 24-year-old martial artist, his former child actor to Hollywood for a screen test, for which Lee appeared in a dark suit and tie. Bruce showing a young fan his famous coin trick in the early 1970s. Sit in a chair on a non-script interior set, poised, confident, Haller with his hands clasped over one knee. They looked Martin, idle, and so was patient, this officious screen interlocutor, even when, like some X-ray technician, he asked Lee to turn in a three-quarter profile and hold it. Just sit immobile. Lee fascinated the camera, but it came startlingly alive when it stood up and began demonstrating crisp, lightning quick kung fu moves and a portly bespectacled volunteer from backstage. Of the volunteer who kept nervously flinching as punch and kicks explode inches from his head, Lee, that pan, that he looked kinda worried. Dozier immediately put the dynamic, charismatic young man under a one-year contract. And though the Charlie Chan series fell through, when the Green Hornet got the green light, Dozier and his Cato waited. The Green Hornet, which newspaperman Britt Reid played on the TV by Van Williams, his chauffeur sidekick Cato, Don Masked to Fight Crime, was based on a popular 30s radio show created by George Trendle and Frank Stryker, who also had created The Lone Ranger. In fact, their original scripts made the connection between the Ranger and the Hornet explicit. Reed Reid's great-grandfather was the Lone Ranger. Bruce Lee was dubious. Kato was a Japanese name, but in the original radio series, his ancestry been reduced to vaguely Oriental as a post-Pearl Harbor gesture of wartime political correctness. Being relegated to chores as a houseboy, could he be reduced to a pigtail wearing pidgin-speaking Tonto clone? Did the world really need another Asian stereotype? Still, it was 60s and rebellion and consciousness raising were in the air. In addition, his own life was moving on. He and Linda had a newborn son, Brandon. In the same week he was born, Bruce's father died in Hong Kong. Bruce Lee had new family responsibilities. Perhaps this Kato could have something of the spirit of the time. Didn't get the part because of his acting or fighting skills, too joking ruefully to the press, but because he was the only Chinese person in California who could pronounce Brit Raid. Fact, as it turned out, from Beautiful Dreamer, the premier episode, worked through such installments. The deadline for that, the praying mantis, and the ray is for killing, which the bad guys employ a laser beam that prey. Rarely was given more to do than pronounce his own screen employer's name and show how well this Kato could Chinese box. Roll it, Kato. The hornet would boom. It would dash off yet again the Black Beauty. They trick out with 60 supercar to fight evil and cry. Not surprisingly, behind the wheel, with his masked employer comfortably at ease in the back seat, Kato sometimes wore an expression of faint amusement or even slight chagrin. The otherwise undistinguished 20th Century Fox television series, which aired on Fridays night opposite Wild Wild West and the Tarzan series, was a part of a short-lived action-adventure satire trend on 60s television that include Batman, Dodger Elder series, and West. They all share a pop art look and a camp sensibility, but for the young fans, it was Kato who kicked through the screen. Lee choreographed his own fight scenes, and not surprisingly, they were the high point of each Green Hornet show. Once the show business cliche proved true overnight, Bruce Lee, who was barely even given a line of dialogue on TV beyond birth rate raising, became a grassroots youth sensation. A fan mail, much of it from young girls, the request for personal appearance came pouring in. A group of businessmen approached him with a scheme to commit his popularity to franchising Kato schools of self-defense, but a young actor who certainly could have used the quick fusion of money refused, observing that could be no quality control of the instruction offered at the schools, which merely would be trading on his image, his tribunate. Unlike many other rising young actors, whose success breeds exclusion, and an arrogant attitude, Bruce remained at his loquacious and witty. Can you dig it, youth, man? Far out. Another with it interjection of the time pepper is casual conversation. Not surprisingly, he became a favorite of the press, which took to focusing on in the Green Hornet coverage, writing how glowing stories that typically describe him as charming and complete half. He was both. Sometimes Lee on-screen movements were so fast that the camera had to film him at a slower speed just to be able to catch action, the action. And it delighted the fans flew to him, as well as the press, with simple coin tricks demonstrating his prowess. Will place a dime in a child's, or a reporter open palm. Close your hand before I can snatch it away, would say, and you can keep the dime. Once, twice, and each time he would grab dime before the hand could close. Third attempt, and this time is a unsuspecting victim who feel the coin still caught in his tightly closed hand. A got you. Will come the inevitable triumphant cry. But when the fist slowly opened, it revealed the dime replaced by a penny. Lee remained fearless, too, in his criticism of usually sacrosanct subject. Show scripts were generally bad, he said candidly, and the producers were constantly trying to get him to do stunts that would make a travesty of his beloved martial arts. As for showboating, martial arts teachers who specialized in precisely such tricks. Board and brick breaking was just a stunt, he often said. Balls don't hit back. The press loved it, and they gleefully reprint a bad pants to which he was addicted. For example, Lee implicitly and tirelessly repeat that he didn't drink or smoke, but he did chew gum, because a lot of men smoke but Fu Manchu. Brandon Linda Shannon How was it? Narrating the demise of the ill-conceived and indifferently executed Green Hornet didn't lead automatically to a better series created especially for a star in a born media by people like Bruce Lee, says Linda Lee. I don't think we experienced a great deal of prejudice, except when it came to Bruce breaking into Hollywood. They did think he was a bankable personality. Years after the Green Hornet, they wouldn't give him the lead in Kung Fu, which led was going to Hong Kong. True, in the aftermath of the Hornet, Lee Scatto appeared with Vanny Williams as a guest star in a piece of the action and Batman's Satisfaction, a two-part Batman episode about foiling rare stamp counterfeiter. 2 pages. Daily journal exhibiting the exercise routine was practicing at the time similar to the which you had been as an earlier. He appeared in the occasional episode of Father's TV series Ironside, starring Raymond Barr as the wheelchair-bound detective, for example, or Bloody, in which he played the Wood Bernstead, the karate teacher, in an episode titled Pick on a Bally Your Own Size. Hollywood doesn't lead the popular taste. So much as it best crystallizes it. And while other reasons have been advanced, some, like the ready quality of Lee's voice, may even have been legitimate factors that pervasive and automatic racism. For a period during which America was embroiled in an Asian land war was a severe obstacle for any minority actor, much less the first young Chinese actor crossover appeal to overcome. Early in his career, Lee remarked to producer that he aspired to be a part like Bill Cosby in the groundbreaking mid-60s TV series I Spy, and that he hoped someday planned to play a Clint Eastwood style action adventure hero on the big screen. In this emerging era of multicultural media, when Hollywood broadly street will encompass a spectrum of Chinese filmmaking from Eat, Drink, Man, Woman to the violent screen poetry of John Woo, it may be hard to credit that the response from the show business professional was one of such dismissive certainty. American public will never accept an Asian as a leading man. When the Green Hornet was cancelled, Lee was informed in a flip note from producer Dozier, whose condescending language would be unthinkable today. Confucius said Green Hornet was no more. Lee said that the note agreed. While the series disappeared into syndication overseas, Lee, whose Chinese birth name was Jun Fan, resumed teaching, opening the Jun Fan Kung Fu Institute in Los Angeles. On a small easel at the front of his desk, Lee placed a small card on which, in a flowing hand, were inscribed just two words: Welcome. Soon, despite the fact that it bore no identifying sign outside, celebrity students were finding their way to the school in Chinatown. Among them, prolific film and television writer Sterling Silliphant, Chinatown director Roman Polanski, Lakers basketball star Karim Abdul-Jabbar, and such prominent actors of the day as Steve McQueen, Lee Marvin, James Coburn, and James Garner. If he was disappointed by corporate Hollywood's casual disdain, he never showed it. He welcomed. Immersing himself in teaching his martial arts and pushing a personal program of physical and mental development that was as advanced as it was eclectic. In combat, he said, efficiency is anything that scores. And on the wall of his Los Angeles school, he hung his observation that the truth in combat is different from each individual. Unlike other martial arts, instructors who taught students by sparring with no contact, they put on boxing gloves, protective gear, and pioneered the practice of full contact workout. Anything else ever would be like learning to swim without ever getting into the water. The elements of his daily physical and nutritional regimen were just athletic and result-oriented. Everything from taking high protein drinks and several small meals daily rather than the traditional three squares to weight training, practicing kings and boxing every back, internal training and jogging around the street of West LA while wearing and leg weights. Work out intensely for 2 or 3 hours daily, but even after while reading or watching TV, would be perpetually flexing and rotating, curling or lifting, stretching or doing isometry. We cycle, shadow boxing, skip rope, or speed bike. Master the one finger push up. This kind of rigorous training program may be familiar, at least as an ideal to the commit athlete today. But in the 60s, all was new and startling, and never had a martial artist at least exalted level trained in this way. Increase his speed and power, hone his reflex, sharpen every move by sparring. No one who was there during his stride toward physical perfection ever was able to keep up. It all came snapping to a sudden stop. Oh, when he badly damaged nerve in the sacrum, lower spine. Then good morning, an exercise in which he bent forward from the waist with a heavily weighted barbell on his shoulders. While recovering from the painful 1970 back injury, Lee, the voracious reader, of everything from Krishnamurti to kinesiology, and then veteran student of philosophy, the warrior way, began to commit to paper the principle of his own anti-system of martial art, Jeet Kune Do. Not unexpectedly, he applied real world tactics and reward martial arts system as diverse as American boxing, European fencing, and of course being champ in April 1969. Bruce and Linda's second child, daughter Shannon, had been born in Santa Monica, California. Back in Seattle, he'd been charging $50 a month for instruction. I was charging his private students alone $250 per hour and $1,000 for 10 lessons. As the 60s drew to a close, he was making almost twice as much yearly from giving martial arts lessons as he was from acting and residuals, mostly from the Green Hornet. His back doctor emphasized the serious impermanence of the nerve damage, warning that he'd never do kung fu again. But within 6 months of his original injury, he was teaching and working out as before. During his painful recuperation, he produced 6 entire volumes of writing about his way and his art. Memory of once fruit man, crammed and disturbed by the classical West. This was in school. Very nice picture here. Then, as now, Hollywood was that it's not what you know, it was your you know though par excellence. Bruce Lee, next few show business job opportunities in the late 60s, guest shots on television series, small technical assignments, choreographing fight scenes, movies, shall as much from his network or showbiz student as from his parallel skills. But the though of Bruce Lee in Hong Kong and elsewhere in Asia, where the Green Hornet was still playing, didn't count in Hollywood. Still, each time he appeared in American role that showcased his action talents, he created a sensation. But the accolades were no surprise to Lee's hometown fans in Hong Kong, Singapore, and elsewhere in Asia. Sold serious cancer after a single season on American television was still playing in syndication. The Crown Colony, they knew that outage wasn't called the Green Hornet there, while they didn't call the Bruce Lee show either. They did the next best thing. In Hong Kong, the Green Hornet was the called Kato show. First, Lee was unaware of his popularity. Sono a metà, Tizia. In Hong Kong, after all, in America, I was simply one more an underemployed actor with a unique, rather puzzling skill. But Lee was asked to enough to cooperate with studio publicity campaign. For example, it in the road Dow Marlowe, 1969 picture based on Raymond Chandler's novel Little Sister and starring James Gardner, cinema's most famous private eye. Lee, in addition to choreographing the film's fight scenes, played the hired killer villain of the piece, the whimsically named Winslow Wong, who destroyed the hero's office with spare ends. And impossibly high kicks before being killed himself. That apparently hardly 700 million Chinese can be won. His flashness, no flashness, notwithstanding the role was a big part. The sheer fact to the world sending him out to do publicity, and that moreover would agree to do it, was a testament both to his understanding of the pressure points move the might media machine and to the growing power of his connection with the American press and public. The connection was reinforced when Lee appeared in Long Street, new Paramount privatized TV series written by Lee student. Steven Sullivan earlier also had adapted the Chandler novel for the big screen. The episode was titled The Way of the Intercepting Fist. In other words, Jeet Kune Do, in all, and told the story of how the blind title character, Mike Longstreet, played by James Franciscus, learned fighting skills, and a rather reluctant martial art teacher Lee played. So always Lee worked to add texture to his martial arts teacher role, to imbue the TV character with the same principle he brought to the role in real life. Cannot teach you, says karate. Can Lee himself only help you explore yourself, nothing more. Later, I don't believe in system, Mr. Longstreet, nor in method. Without system, without method, was it to teach? During the demonstration, his character easily blocks an unexpected object, explaining, "I intercept your emotional tenses." Originally scheduled to be the fourth episode of the new weekly series, Way of the Intercepting Fist, with Lee as a guest, to impress producer and network executive, executives. That they moved the episode up, making the series debut. Reviews, the trade papers elsewhere, Schmidt praising Lee's performance, no less than the New York Times suggests. There, here was a personality earned himself his own series. Sheer talent and charisma were forcing the studios to put Lee-related projects into development. But Lee already had made plans to return to Hong Kong. He was going to make a Chinese language film. By the time American studio has decided want to make him a regular on the series, Lee was in Thailand on location, shooting The Big Boss, which eventually became known in the United States as Fist of Fury. His first mature Hong Kong produced film, and offers from other studios, including Warner Bros., coming in eventually become known in the United Eventually, though, he agreed to reprise the character. When Lee returned to Hollywood, he shot 3 additional Longstreet episodes. Now there were plans in development for a Warner TV series set in the Old West to be called The Warrior. Then for a movie, A Silent Flu, to be shot in India, where the studio wanted to make use. Snapshot on the location scouting trip to India for the project movie The Silent Flu. Its case of local currency that couldn't be taken out of the country. Flute, like the warrior, was based on his own concept. And the sound of by now the familiar themes in the young Kung Fu instructor life. The same themes as soon would be sound worldwide in the Hong Kong films. This is a story of one man's quest for liberation. He wrote a flute, like the whole West fastened gun alive. The individual is not out to sharpen his tool to destroy his antagonist, rather his sidekick, Chet, are directed primarily toward himself. So this flute character is dubious about the value of styles in school, as was Lee himself, says Hassam. A path and a cutway have no meaning for use once the objective is in sight. If another character highly disciplined, precise method of eating his food, method learned in a monastery, as some observe skeptically that a hungry the father of American man disciplined himself in this manner might starve to death while still counting the precise number of chews. In America, the men who ran the networks in the studio were dubious too. America still wasn't ready for an Asian leading man. They decide Flood, which had gotten as far as the location's cotton tree that Lee, James Coburn, and Sterling Silver made to the Indian subcontinent fell through. The role of carrying the floodplains Shaolin monk, roaming the whole West in the warrior cities, went to David Carradine. Lee made plans to return with his family to Hong Kong. Hollywood wasn't ready for a Palong Hong. He said Riley of the role that originally had been conceived by him and was written for him in the series that subsequently was retitled Kung Fu. Boss Fists. Big Boss as aka Fist of Fury, co-starring Maria He, Nora Miao, two popular Hong Kong actresses of the time, was the first of two picture deal with Raymond Cho's newly formed Golden Harvest Production Company. Cho, the son of the chairman of the Bank of China and a student of Kung Fu in his youth, spent more than a decade as head of production for the four Shanghai-born Mandarin-speaking show brother. Then, Asia's most powerful movie moguls before striking out on his own in 1970. That same year, Lee, even the savvy promoter, made several appearances on Hong Kong television in connection with the local cattle sensation and his frequent martial arts demonstration on Enjoy Yourself Tonight, Hong Kong's TV version of The Tonight Show, called Show's Experience High. June 1971, Cho engaged Lee to act in two pictures under the original agreement, whose Lee would receive a less than pricingly sum of $15,000 for doing both. Like Bruce Lee, who had grown up in it, Raymond Cho knew the rough and tumble world of Hong Kong filmmaking, where pictures were sometimes financed by the criminal triads. Later, when Lee told American reporters about his overnight stardom, he often would describe how a stranger in Hong Kong suddenly began to press huge amount of money upon him, telling him not to worry about it, that perhaps sometimes in the future they might do a picture together. Lee himself never explained the provenance of these generous strangers to the puzzled American journalist, but most likely they were approached by the triads who wanted to co-opt the new star. Bruce with the Hong Kong stuntman. He liked Hong Kong stunt people because they knew exactly how to stage a dramatic fight on film. During his entire career, Bruce campaigned for higher wages of all his stunt people. Bruce with the wife of Louis, one of the famous brothers. The scene with the dogs. Hong Kong movies were churned out with dizzying speed in a few short weeks. Shooting usually had to take place at night and early in the morning to avoid a high decibel noise, constant bustle of every growing city in daytime. Because of the constant noise level, movies shot scenes in daytime Hong Kong were filmed without sound, with the dialogue and sound effects dubbed in later inside the studio in post-production. Hollywood's legion of studio bureaucrats and its pampered megastars today would be hard put to keep up with the film frenzy pace of Hong Kong filmmaking. The silent era's pioneer feed the public's insatiable appetite for the new medium by making a new full-length movie every few days. Certainly would have less time. The big boss, shot in a remote village in Thailand, introduced what became the prototypical Lee action hero, a lone outsider arriving or returning from somewhere else. A charismatic, self-contained man who is slow to anger but unstoppable when finally provoked. Bruce is Chen, an open-faced young man arriving at Thai Ice Factory, where his Hong Kong relatives, Wood and Simple folk are among the expatriate workers. Early on, we find out that Chen, apparently fleeing trouble in Hong Kong, has promised his mother never to resort to violence in Chinese boxing or Kung Fu again. Shredly early fight scenes between the stalwart and Hong Kong workers and the vicious thugs employed by the evil, smuggling big boss who likes young chicks and owns the ice factory. The release weird round Bruce as Chen, bound by his promise to stay out of trouble, never fight again, remains a bystander. Don't just stand there, one of the downtrodden workers exhorted him. Fight! Chen upper lip quivered dangerously. Two precise balletic kicks and the knife-wielding Tucker was set upon him falls. The gang of amazed thugs flees in dismay, says the drolly comedic second banana upon the arrival of Chow Mei, the young girl, played by Maria Yi, been pining for Chen. We had some industrial unrest when Chen, the stake on the entire gang, finally provoked by the adoption of Chow Mei, the massacre of his relative. Naturally, he lays waste to all his enemies. Audience had never seen anything like the sheer, the unprecedented level of martial arts skill and precision in the battle scene. He himself had choreographed. Boss broke box office records in Hong Kong and all over Asia, in the process putting Golden Harvest on the film world map. By December 1971, Lee's star was rising in the East. Even a popular song of the day, Lee Three Kicks, celebrated the new Asian cinematic hero. While her husband was in Thailand shooting both, Linda Lee stayed in Los Angeles with her two children. The jump up to the world of Asian film was such a leap into the unknown that Lee decided was prudent not to leave the only home the children had ever known till the future was clearer. But even before the Big Boss was released, it was making big waves. The movie was being heralded by insiders, and expectation was so high then. Even before its midnight premiere, the late hour is a local tradition. Bruce came back to the United States to move his family to Hong Kong. I had no inkling of what to expect when we got off to the plane. Linda Lee recalls my first clue was that Bruce said on the plane that we need to take a change of clothes before the plane land so that we could look nice when we arrived at the airport. And I was sort of like, why do we have to look nice when we arrive at the airport? And as soon as she saw the waiting crowd, she knew. Her husband was famous. With Bruce Lee star already showing the unmistakable box office sign, the unprecedented brightening to come, Raymond Cho signed him to a new contract, this time at $20,000 per picture. Bruce Lee and Linda celebrating Bruce's birthday with a cake passing in Kiki. Superman, Unicorn John. Thank you for the viewer. If you like this idea, so say to me, comment please. I need your comments. I'm wrong strong for this John. Not surprisingly, Bruce Lee's second movie was the one with which he felt the best personal connection. Fist of Fury, now in the United States, is the Chinese connection. Told the tale, it would have had resonance for anyone who had grown up in Hong Kong. See it Biden century and a half before the surprise of the colonial opium wars, occupied by Japanese invaders in World War II. The picture also continued Lee's connection with many of his fellow Big Boss actors and crew members. Actors Nora Miao and Maria Ye were in both films. Both were written and directed by action director Lo Wei. Many of the villains in both were played by the same veteran Hong Kong character actor. The film is set in Shanghai, China's great port city, in 1980, at the time when China, an ancient kingdom by internal strife and mercy, the outside great powers, was routinely referred to as the sick man of Asia. Arrogant foreigners, particularly the Japanese and the British, swaggered through Shanghai streets, signed an embassy gate reads, "No dogs and Chinese alone." Enter Bruce Lee as Chen Jie, a returning martial arts student from where he never learned, who disembarks the ship just in time to learn that the below master Qing Wu School of Chinese boxing has died under mysterious circumstances. Soon, the supercilious spokesman for a rival Japanese karate school run by a criminal gang, appears to announce the Chinese school imminent takeover. Contemptuous and imperious, the emissary calls the Chinese a race of weaklings. But the wicked master of the karate dojo ever reckoned with Chen, this customary dramatic sense. In visual acumen, Bruce Lee had choreographed for his character now some balletic confrontation with the entire assembled student body of the Japanese dojo. When Chen steps alone into the midst, the white gi wearing karatman quickly surrounds him, forming a lethal wheel, slowly turning a circle of attackers. One of Lee's signature movies. Chen peels off his black coat and arches it down per chest and pop a fat back. As they turn menacingly in one direction, spins in the other, kicking, punching, and judo throwing his way an arm through the swirling rush. Their mass assault, finally producing a pair of nunchakus and striking them from low to the practice floor, demolish his opponent, leaving them unconscious bright. The battle between a Chinese hero and violence, other nationality of or ethnic groups, particularly Caucasians, was one convention of the Hong Kong action picture. Easy to label racist, but perhaps more understandable given China's, and in particular Hong Kong's, long and bitter experience of colonial domination. Later, the boss, the gang behind the dojo, brings Petro, a mustachio Russian, played by Bo Baker, an American martial artist, who can bend iron bars and drive nails through boards with bare closed ends. In another innovation in the martial arts genre, Lee understood early the value of bringing in real martial artists his movie opponents. Their skill allow more complex choreography and add very similitude to the battle scenes. Martial artist Robert Ward, for example, made a convincing villain and went on to a larger movie career. Did another Lee film fight a karate named Norris. When he meets Petrov in combat, Chen sets himself straddle leg with a quick, business, but business-like tug at his pants leg. Another Lee trademark move for snapping side kicks from the horse position. Then he overcome the Russian with short explosive shin to head kick combination. And when the dojo heavy master attacking with a samurai sword, mm, um, when the dojo evil master attacks him with a samurai sword, his Chen crisply kicks the sword out of the attacker's hand into the air. As the sword tumbles in slow motion, Chen pulls up down and head down and forward. The blade plunges upward into the evil master outstretched back. In another telling scene, a haughty and racist Japanese man, dressed in the traditional robes of feudal nobility, offers to accompany Chen Jie past the border and to main guard, who has blow entry at gate, but only if the young Chinese will get down on all fours. Pretend you are a dog, he demands contemptuously. Chen responds to this outrage with sudden sharp blows, soundly defeat the arrogant Japanese this companion, and with a single might kick he destroyed the racist not dogs or Chinese sign forbidding passage. A crowd watching peasant cheer a singular act of bravado and retaliation. The Hong Kong Chinese in the movie audience who knew something about humiliation and foreign occupation cheered too. They cheered the film's final image as well. Chen caught in an heroic freeze frame, his lips kicking, the line of pistol-wielding foreigners. He isn't his country's enemy, flying towards certain but honorable death. For Bruce Lee, the Chinese connection was an even bigger hit. His first film, one that broke his own box office record all over the Asian theatrical circuit. Within a single year of arriving back in Hong Kong and signing his original two-picture deal, Lee had gone supernova. Second contract for 20,000. Second contract for 20,000 but feature was declared null and void. The young star and Raymond Chu, veteran producer, renegotiated their relationship, forming a production partnership. The Dragon. Bruce Lee on the big screen could punch and kick better and more convincingly than anyone ever before. Now, after just two films, he also had.
Secondo Wikipedia, Federica Stufi è una pallavolista italiana, centrale del Bergamo 1991.
And anyone in Hollywood or in the world of ongoing filmmaking knows when an actor is no longer tied by an exclusive contract. And as a cloud, things happen. These things happen. Lee, who knew that show business power resides behind the camera rather than in front of it, formed his own production company, Concord, which co-produced his third film with Raymond Shaw, Golden Harvest. Bruce, Bruce Lee not only starred in the picture but wrote and directed it as well. That level of overall responsibility was unprecedented for a Hong Kong movie actor. But Lee approached the daunting task of creating and overseeing his own motion picture in his usual methodical student way. By reading a dozen or more books on the various behind-the-scenes filmmaking crafts and consulting collegially with experienced professor on his crew. The cordiality and respect he demonstrated then and on his other pictures toward behind-the-scene club people. For example, he campaigned to raise the wage of Hong Kong's underpaid stunt people and him a lasting loyalty that a show business autocrats rarely see. With this picture, Lee also earned the undying loyalty of the local Hong Kong audience by making it the Cantonese dialogue which is spoken there. that may not seem unusual, but it was in fact the first Cantonese language Hong Kong film since the late 40s, when an influx of Shanghai filmmakers fleeing Mao Zedong and communists took over the Hong Kong film industry and began shooting pictures in the native Mandarin dialect, which they then dubbed or subtitled in Cantonese. After Lee broke the barrier, Hong Kong filmmakers began making all their pictures in Cantonese again. Zilli, his second picture, The Chinese Connection, an interlude where his character assumes various disguises as a rickshaw boy, an elderly newspaper vendor, finally as a respected, bespectacled telephone lineman, suggests its dramatic range. Now, in the way of the dragon, known as Return of the Dragon in the United States, Lee wrote himself a role that showcases comedy and light romantic, as well as martial arts skill, like his choice of opponents in fight scenes was a shrewd move. Of course, the writer, director, producer, who also has a credit as the martial arts choreographer, scout, location, and cast the film as well. And for the climatic confrontation, he chose an American little known outside of martial arts circles, a karate champion named Chuck Norris. He was an admirer of the stylish and satirical spaghetti western, pictured like fistful of dollars with characters like the man with no name that had shot Clint Eastwood, one of Lee's show business role models to international stardom in the 60s. It's no coincidence that Return of the Dragon was filmed in Rome, that the soundtrack is that jaunty spaghetti western feel. Though rarely remarked upon by film critics, by his legion of fans, his written and he-directed picture turns out to be the troll satire, the usually sometimes pretentious martial arts film itself. Instead of the man with no name riding into the dusty town to save the small band of homesteaders from the evil bandits, we have Tang Lung, the handsome young, self-assured but decidedly and boldly martial artist flying into Rome to save the small band of honest Hong Kong restaurateurs, including the beautiful Nora Miao, the beauty-lipped Chinese Chen Chinhua, who had been threatened by an Italian syndicate, the mafia, that wants their establishment and its land. Lee opened Return of the Dragon in the classic mode, with a telling shot that orderly and weakly sounds his favorite socio-political theme. An elderly, white-haired, high-profile Caucasian woman, a strand of pearls around her neck, speeding metaphorically down her aquiline nose. The newly arrived stranger in town, young man who is studiously trying to ignore a rude stare. There in the bustling Rome airport, and when at last she leaves town, a stranger from the Hong Kong hinterland seeks with relief. Lee stung in the back, toting innocent abroad, a country boy in the big city. I'm here to get you out of this mess, he says confidently in a deep, dark voice. When Pretty Chanchin picks him up in a white Oldsmobile convertible, Tang takes one look at the big land boat and exclaims, Bien vous, Mustang? It's a rose. When she take him to see impressive ancient Roman ruins, Tang sized them up, immediately saying, "Our slums are just like this." This direction is a brisk and muscular. Stang is polite, shy, jokey and jaunty. Character withdraws on bodily on personality and experience. Is a stranger in a foreign land. An outdoor cafe in a colorful piazza. Chen explained the local custom, saying that when people smile at you in Rome, you smile back. While behind a nearby table, a flirtation Sophia Loren looked like, slow eyes, big bones, and even bigger hair, is giving Tang a smoldering calm hither look. What's a polite young fellow from Hong Kong to do? With a well-in-room shrug, Tang smiles well. In a flash, much to Chen-Ching's chunkering, the Italian woman says move in on in. Philip pouring is here. Later, when the thugs first appeared at the restaurant, they have an early 70s ball. Look about them with their tie-dyes, colorful heels, and hip-hugging bell-bottom. That even the must have looked farcical and ironic. The head benchmark, the employee of the white-haired Caucasian who is the syndicate leader, vague and minds in Asia. With one point, but Tang's chest and mark is rippling muscle. At first, when the thugs disrupt the restaurant, the earnest employees try to fight back using a karate, a foreign martial art. When that's to no avail, it's Tang's turn. But first is only too happy to provide a lesson in Chinese boxing. Put your into it, he explained, in a line that would make any martial art student smile. It's how you get some power. Dragon Six Pat, says Tang tartly, punching and kicking through the thugs in the hallway behind the restaurant. Dragon whips his tail, beats them one by one, or as they attack in groups. Kung Fu moves are realistic. The choreography is as usual brilliant and thrilling, but when Lee and is devastating counterattack with a three stooge like Philip, Danny Pope, perhaps a dismissive backhand tap under the chin is satirical intention unclear. It was all it was all Bruce, says Linda Lee. The film she called her favorite Bruce Lee picture. The clowning around was the way at home. The syndicate boss is ducks in disarray and its power in question has no choice, he said, for the dreaded cold Norris, the martial arts he called American best. The final confrontation unfolded to the accompaniment of ominous spaghetti western like theme music within the road stone walls of Rome ancient Colosseum, where gladiator once fought to the death. Panoramic establishing shot when the two antagonists first met was filmed the actual famous outdoor amphitheater. Footage of Norris in his white gi high in the stands, salutingly with an imperial thumbs down, and of Lee's legs and arms pumping like pistons, running up the steeply slow stone stair to meet the enemy. However, the actual battle was shot on a stage in Hong Kong, in front of a Colosseum photo backdrop. It's not a simple fight. It's staged by Lee. It's a dramatic confrontation between good and evil, as any Eastwood shot out on the high plains. Not a word is exchanged. Colt loosen up with knuckle cracks, shoulder rolls. Then men fire off flurries of shot boxing, punch and kicks. Director Lee cuts away the quick tight shot, scrolling. People are kittens. The city and particularly the Colosseum were well known for the immense population of feral cats, seemed ready to strike. The cats, the man, and the guy kitten to get in close-up sprays. The man began to fight. Eddie fleshly Colt versus smooth and wiry cat. Detail, choreography, league, workout covering 20 pages. At first, Colt seemed unstoppable. Down goes Tam. He's back, in trouble. Tam reaches up, grabs a fistful of his opponent's abundant chest hair, rips it out, picking up. Slowly opens his closed fist, raising it in front of his face, blows the unseen air away. The moment recalls abstractly their life, thus backdoors over his attitude toward curiosity. The right technique used to say, Furetin is karate critic, is the one that works. Calls no finger red gold warning after the sudden chest air counter turns course of the fight becomes the punchline for director's Lee draw little visual joke. Tank briskly brushes himself off, begins a bouncy little boxer dance. The battle resumes. Continue in slow motion. Forecast for editing or camera moves. Tank dodging and parrying calls. Relenting attack and counter-attacking with low kicks to the knees and shins, side blocks, rapid fire punches, low leg sweep leaves called twitching and wobbling. But but though both men know the inevitable reason. The domitable warrior attacks one last time. Tank snaps cold neck. The gesture of respect for his fallen opponent, Tank covered cold face with an E. The little band of honest homesteaders rescued. Duty done, a stoic stranger repares. Farewell scene at the picturesque Rome cemetery. Chenchin looks appropriately stricken. One of the restaurant workers heard for really of a comic relief second banana. Watch wistfully as time and sever leaves. This word of guns and knives, wherever it may go. Second banana reclaims money will travel alone. Man with no name. Where the better live talk. Once again, Bruce Lee broke his own box office records in Hong Kong. An Asian Movies magazine devoted entire issue to Lee in his new feed. hindsight. Ants Island. Even though Bruce Lee had become an internationally known action film star merely by making a couple of films, the Asian action market, he wasn't a Hollywood star, which the Tinseltown was all that mattered. But the industry had dismissed him after the Green Hornet couldn't dismiss him after his picture started outcrossing films like The Sound of Music and The Godfather in the Far East. The big Hollywood studio, now John Lee, owns production company to make a film that would be the biggest and best martial arts picture ever seen. The production would be headed by Fred Wentworth. Producer also was involved in the original development of the Kung Fu TV series. Robert Close, the director who went through and turned to do the China's O'Brien picture starring Cynthia Rothrock in the early 1990s. It will have a big budget, 13 weeks of Hong Kong location shooting, name, actors, and a James Bond flair. But what to call it? There was big controversy about the naming, recalls Linda Lee. There were telegrams that flew back and forth across the Pacific about the naming of this movie. Lee favored the title he had originally chosen for his own directing debut, Enter the Dragon. But the Hollywood studio executive had another idea. Telegram brusquely worked via to the studio's newest tower. The Wizards of Hollywood had decided that the title Enter the Dragon wouldn't play as well as Hans Island. Bruce was insisting that it be called Enter the Dragon. Indali continued. He feels so strongly about that in the studio. Oh, he's too Chinese. Doesn't describe anything. People won't know that your name is Little Drug. On and on. So an island did a title. Period. It wasn't that it was a bad title. After all, Han, played memorably by a Chinese actor Shi Qian, who at the time spoke no English and knew his dialogue by rote. The villain of the piece, a renegade Solomon, master of a private eye, the palatial Highland fortress, smuggled drugs and forced life at the pretty young woman to them so she can sell them into prostitution. In short, the very incarnation of the dark side of the force. Once every 3 years, we are informed in a Bedford. The opening credits prologue is set in a idyllic Shaolin temple. And all a world-class martial arts tournament on his island. To infiltrate the island and prove the case against Han, Braithwaite, a British spy master, comes to the temple to recruit Mr. Lee. At first, Lee is the most reluctant reluctant secretary. Really, he preferred to stay in his temple paradise, demonstrating Thai boxing in front the approving orange and yellow robe monks, teaching young students fundamentals of his arcane art. Pointing skyward with his index finger, memorably tells one silent young man, dialogue that Lee himself added to the script. Don't think, feel. It's like a finger pointed away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger. You will miss all the heavenly glory. But agree to go he does. In flashback, we see why. Just as in flashback, we learn why two Americans, Williams, Jim Kelly, an American karate tournament champion, and Rupert John Saxon, an actor who himself was a long-time student of martial arts, also arrived. William Swan is on the run after defending himself against racist cops, while Rupert, an inveterate Campbell, is fleeing debts to a loan shark. But Lee isn't just undercover here. As a personal reason to come, Lee's courageous sister Sanlin, Angela Marion, pursued and finally trapped by Henchman, as kill herself with a shard of broken glass rather than submitting to Han's cruel chef bodyguard, Hoara, Robert Ward. On his island, Han lives like a feudal despot, complete with medieval banquet, which is to say, like a villain in a James Bond film. Very few people can be totally ruthless, he says. And he has no qualms about ordering men to fight and to die. Whispers Mei Ling Betty Chung, the pretty agent Brett White, and early praise in Anne's employ, people disappear. We forge our bodies in the fire of our will, declares Hal. He disconcertingly up to replace his missing end, he steals Talos, another lethal prosthetics. So Lee must fight. Not before he gives a bullying target demonstration of his style. The young go into the highland, the thug been carelessly pushing the Hajan crew around. The thug scoldingly demands to know Lee's fighting style. Lee replied meekly, "You can call it the art of fighting without fighting." And he tricks the thug into a small boat, which to the crew's delight Lee casts off to founder in the junk's wake. In a scripted moment, the thug is last seen scrambling about the nearly bomb skiff. Reality roses, and on the day of shooting nearly sent the real actor over the side. Hundreds of extras and Hollywood sides crew were assembled for this movie. The 1972 shoot abounded with stories of minor and near missions. But from a defiant jet snake could have seriously sidelined the star. Get cut on a prop battle that turned out to be made of real glass and it forced Lee to stop shooting for nearly a week. In challenges by unknown local actors, the cast looking to make their reputation by defeating and dethroning the new Hong King. Course. The Hollywood studio involved, it's hard to know how many of these can sling in invitation to fight. were real and how many stages of the benefit of a gullible press. Not that Lee, like his character, Lee didn't have to do his share of outwitting and perhaps even outpunching violent thugs determined to test his style in a real-life single combat. But it's hard to imagine the picture's veteran Hollywood producer, his veteran Hollywood action director, both of whom were nearly always on vacation, allowing anyone with a bad intention anywhere near the student Mars value star. When Lee finally faced the cruel O'Hara in the tournament in single combat, he demonstrated a more lethal aspect of his style. As in return, the Dragon Bruce Lee used the opportunity to incorporate another reference to his past real-world martial dispute. To intimidate him before the combat, O'Hara breaks a ball with one false hit. Says Lee, the character in the film, in line left from the public comments of Lee, the martial artist and the man, balls don't hit back. Forearms raised and open, backhands lightly touch. Opposite, like two fencers crossing blades. O'Hara and Lee wait for the starter signal, but each time the word is given before O'Hara can even twitch a muscle to strike, Lee with his superior reflexes smash it into him with a single lightning fast blow. With a vision in his mind, his tormented sitter holding the glass shot toward their home belly, he destroyed O'Hara with his fist, the spinning reverse crescent kick, and with a pile driver side kick. When it faded, O'Hara picks up a broken bottle. Lee leaps upon the fallen bodyguard, flying into the air in the slow motion, landing on him with both feet. As he twists downward onto O'Hara, Lee, the look on his face mixing anguish, the terrifying grimace, the wild-eyed warrior. But more deadly confrontations are still to come. In the underground cavern below one's palace, Lee fights off an army of attackers, beating of them with a long staff. The leader breaks into two sticks and with the inevitable nunchakus. Finally, with Hans prisoner freed and his private army is arrayed, Lee stalks the criminal warlord inside his private museum and in a mirrored maze. You have offended my family, you have offended the Shaolin Temple, Lee says, as he pronounces, pronouncing a death sentence, and throws a spear that narrowly is him. The battle Lee's parents and catching back spinning reverse crescent kick and pulling Han down into a headlock. Back kicks in the face. When Han breaks him with his metal talons, Lee, in a now familiar gesture, tastes his own blow. Then side kicks to Han's face, finally kicking him back to the point of his own spear. Another Bruce Lee film victory. In real life, the film was a triumph too. Studio executive backed down, accepting to their stars wishing and naming the film, which went on the gross more than $100 million at the box office, an unparalleled feat for Hong Kong martial arts film. Only on July 20, 1973, plans were well underway for a trip back to the United States for the picture Los Angeles premiere, and the publicity tour. Linda Lee was waiting at home when the phone rang. At first, she thought it was some kind of joke, but she took a taxi to the hospital anyway. Though he surely must have sensed a new level of renown was coming, Bruce Lee, young, strong, and showbiz savvy, didn't live to see the triumphant box office progress of Enter the Dragon. Again, that at 32 of a cerebral edema, swelling, bloating, an allergic reaction to ingredients in a prescription headache tablet. So say the Hong Kong coroner. Crowds, tens of thousands of mourners jammed the narrow Hong Kong street outside his funeral. But nearly 5 years after Bruce Lee's shockingly sudden death, America studio released a new Bruce Lee film. Ironically, in Game of Death, there were no American actors, Chick Young, Andrew Jagger, and Largo O'Brien, that in any of Bruce Lee's previous films, but they were just window dressing for preposterous and exploitative plot. None of them had an actual scene with a star. In fact, the scenes were filmed years later and combined with the footage Lee had shot before for a far different project. If Return of the Dragon was Lee homage to the Western, the Ender of the Dragon was James Bond. Then Game Dead is originally conceived it was to be his philosophical martial arts epic. Began production as his fourth film. Game would be a classic West picture set in a mysterious multi-level pagoda with each level guarded by the master of a particular fighting style. Lee's character would have to fight his way from level to level, past offering after offering. The ad hoc world of Hong Kong filmmaking was far from unusual for a hot actor director to work more than one picture at a time. The guerrilla band nature of the process made relatively easy to take advantage of a fortuitous circumstance, such as the visit of the Crown Colony by Karim Abdul-Jabbar. The 7'2" Los Angeles Lakers basketball star was one of Bruce Lee's most famous and most unlikely students. Basketball player been studying with Lee since the mid-60s and was known as Liu Ashindo. He was playing college ball. The game shot came about in a hurry. Linda Lee recalls because Karim Abdul-Jabbar, who was his friend, student for a long time, was coming to visit Hong Kong. Danny Nosato, who was Lee's student of longest standing, was coming to visit. So it can put together this plot that they want to use these people in because they are so good to fight against. The men were perfect for roles as two of the opposing martial arts masters. And just as it was finishing Return of the Dragon, Bruce Lee filmed game fight scenes with them, as well as shots of his character in a form-fitting yellow bodysuit with black stripes. The type motorcycle racers were running up a wooden stairway. Those fights and the picture title Game of Death. With that footage done, Lee turned his attention to his Hollywood studio co-production, intended to finish game when Enter Dragon was complete. By then, Lee Stardom was in condition. Much on his mind in the spirit of whirlwind activity were both the craft of acting and the craft of living. Just months before his demise, he brought what amounted to a testament, still in my home process of learning, constantly discovering and constantly growing. This assignment is not though enough. I am in the midst of preparing my next movie, Enter the Dragon, co-production between Concord and Warner Bros. First, another Concord production, The Game of Death, which is only halfway done. I conclude this unwritten remark with what now reads as a valedictory, a message to those with whom it battled both metaphorically and literally over the years. His fellow martial artists. I hope my fellow martial artists will open up and be transparently real, and I wish them well in their own process of finding their own cause. Years after the star's death, the game producer used stunt doubles and footage from Lee's previous movies to create a plot that play on the audience's knowledge of death and ultimately death and of this wheel of speculation surrounding it. The same kind of conspirational theorism possible to satisfactorily answer the rose after the sudden deaths of both Marilyn and Elvis. Game as released is the story of martial arts star Billy Lowe, ostensibly Lee but mostly played by a double because he will not cooperate with criminals. He shot in the face with a real bullet surreptitiously placing a stunt gun. Years later, of course, in a case of life tragically imitated by art, Brandon Lee died on a film set in an accident involving a misloaded gun. The scene, Billy's film is a recreation of the final shot from the Chinese Connection, when Lee as Chan in a church a line of foreigners armed with guns. Game footage from both the movie and the final confrontation with Chuck Norris in Return of the Dragon is intercut with no very convincing shot of the double. Billy Lowe dies, scream newspaper headlines, but secretly is being taken for reconstructive surgery that has permanently altered his face. This expedient plot device may explain why the double was the same general body type as Lee doesn't really look like Bruce Lee at all. It adds a bandaged face to the sorry gallery, tricks the movie uses to hide the double's own feature. Various times the double wear big thin sunglasses or a thick towel wrapped around his neck. Sports, a fake beard or a motorcycle helmet, shot the distance profile or in shadows. But when it comes to the fighting, it's particularly easy to see that this graceless brawler is not Bruce Lee. The footage shot after he died had nothing to do with what Bruce was doing, says Linda Lee emphatically. Nothing can redeem the ludicrousness that has come before, but at least the movie's final confrontation are the real thing. Bruce Lee and then Ino Santo dueling with nunchakus. No Santo, in fact, first introduced Lee to the weapon, and Lee shooting leaping kicks at the gigantic Abdul-Jabbar. Finally, games and credit and reel or a montage moments from Lee's three previous Golden Armor pictures to see these images is to wonder what might have been. I think Bruce probably would have been very successful after Enter the Dragon and done many more films in the United States, say Linda Lee. Finally, Hollywood would have been open to mine. He would have moved behind the camera, directing and producing. Eventually, would have steered away from martial art totally. His goal with martial arts was to show the beauty of the Chinese culture. He wanted to integrate more into showing it as a way of life rather than just beating people up. In the last irony, the silent flute, which could have been Lee's first breakthrough film in the early 70s, totally was produced at the end of that decade, retitled Circle of Fire, and starred David Carradine, whose Lee's ultimate impact, though far exceeded anything that could be measured at the box office. In his brief career, he had shattered long-held stereotypes and broken strong social barriers, in a sense fulfilling the early fervent hope, best symbolized by his own Chinese birth name, Jun Fan. The literary meaning of Jun, a common Chinese boy name in Hong Kong, is to arouse to the active state or to make prosperous. The name implies a wish well understood by the Hong Kong Chinese of Bruce Lee father's generation for the restoration of prosperity for their long suffering nation. Fang comes partly from San Fancy, Chinese name for the city of San Francisco, where Bruce was born. Fan, too, has more than one meaning, would have been understood by the Chinese of the time, suggesting both a garden and a subordinate country bordering a big, powerful country. Thus, the full meaning of Jun Fan reflect the father's hope that his son would grow, shining and prosperous on foreign land. Someday he would rise to disturb the foreigner, plus a sense of superiority. In a larger sense, perhaps Jun Fan might even usher in the return of an era of respect for his own people. The amount of debt went on to gross $100 million worldwide. According to one report, the reputation of a lesser talent might have suffered from such a misbegotten exploitation, but not Bruce Lee, perhaps because it wasn't simply his educated hands and feet that had taken him so far so fast. His brief, meteoric rise was a product of an unusually disciplined, wide-ranging mind. Well understood the game was too a strange marriage of art and business, called and its irresistible imperative: take the money and run. Welcome, guys. Still inspiration, people. Okay, thank you, guys. If you like this kind of video reading martial arts books, because I love to read, just say to me in the comments. I'm fanatic of reading Bruce Lee and martial arts book. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.